Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Sharon walks in on a startling scene, and Lily accuses Devin of sabotage. All products and services featured are independently chosen by editors. However, soaps.com may receive a commission on orders placed through its retail links, and the retailer may receive certain auditable data for accounting purposes. At Sharon's place, she and Faith have a discussion about Sharon doing her laundry. Faith asks if she's doing this because Moses dumped her. Sharon insists it's an act of love, not pity. Faith is glad. She's almost over Moses anyway. Sharon reminds her not to run away from her feelings. She's done that too many times herself. Faith concedes that it still hurts. She just didn't want to give him the satisfaction of knowing that. Sharon says with her she can cry all she wants to. Faith asks if that's what she did when she got her heart broken. Sharon did a lot of stupid things. She recalls that her and Nick had a lot of ups and downs, but settled on a beautiful friendship. Faith wonders if she regrets not ending up with her father. Sharon says they're where they're supposed to be. Faith wants to see her mother light up with someone special. She sees it a lot when she's around Nick. Sharon thinks she's seeing comfort and family. She's content with that. Faith shrugs, okay. She complains that they used to have more, before Cassie died and Phyllis went after Nick. They'd had a life together, a family. Sharon says it's ancient history. We've moved on, even with Phyllis. It wouldn't surprise her if Nick ended up back with the redhead at some point. They'd have a different connection, but it's there. Nick walks into Crimson Lights and spots Phyllis. He joins her and asks about her job prospects. She says she's formulating a plan. Nick doesn't grill her and she asks, "Are you messing with me?" Nick is absolutely messing with her and asks, "What's the plan?" Phyllis is working on something. Her job search will go full circle and land her closer to home. Nick snarks, "That tells me absolutely nothing." Phyllis says if things go her way, she'll be able to deliver permanent payback to Chancellor Winters. Nick barks, "Don't." Phyllis insists it's nothing underhanded. She's just sitting back and waiting for the stars to align, and then she'll make her move. She's heard there's some upheaval and she's waiting for things to explode. There will be opportunities for her then, and she won't even have to lift a finger. Nick asks what vibe Phyllis is getting from Chancellor Winters and where did it come from. Phyllis can't reveal her sources, but she has friends there still who tell her there's a lot of fighting going on. Nick thinks Billy is the one behind the trouble. He never thought he was a good fit there. "I'm guessing Billy is the one behind the plan. Is that right?" At Society, Heather tells Lucy and Daniel the law firm she interviewed at isn't hiring her. Daniel wonders if they're skittish because of the lawsuit. Heather changes the subject by asking how it went with Lily. How'd she take the news? Lucy asks, "What news?" Daniel tells his daughter he went to see Lily about dropping the lawsuit. He just wanted to move on. Lucy asks, "What does this mean?" Daniel says Chancellor Winters is going to keep Princess Louisa. He's sorry if she's upset. Lucy thinks it's 100% the right move. She doesn't need a game to show that he loves her. Besides, she hated him and Lily fighting about it. She has everything she ever wanted, so let them have the game. Daniel and Heather are proud of her. He admits she was dreading breaking the news to her. "Thank you for understanding." At Chancellor Winters, Nate tells Devin it looks like Lily's plan is happening. They'll have to look surprised when she and Billy tell them they're breaking up the company. Lily and Billy enter the office and she apologizes for calling them together at the last minute. Devin fakes, "I'm just wondering why we're here." Lily says it's no secret there's been tension in the office lately. She thinks the infighting is stopping the company from growing. She and Billy have come up with an idea to stop the constant fighting and conflict. Mamie appears and snarks, "Now this I'd like to hear." Devin reminds Mamie that she's not been invited to the meeting because she's no longer a member of the decision-making process. Mamie wants to ensure they don't make foolish decisions for the company. She asks what happened to Omega Sphere's flagship property. Lily says she and Daniel settled, so there's no more lawsuit and no one has an issue with the settlement. Billy wants to get back to the issue at hand. Devin refuses to have the meeting with Aunt Mamie there. Mamie sits down and smiles. Devin understands Mamie being angry, but that doesn't change anything. Mamie sniffs that Devin has so little compassion. It makes her wonder if the rift between him and Tucker was as much Devin's fault as it was McCall's. He may be disreputable, but he was genuinely wanting to set things right between you. But Devin doesn't need him any more than he needs her now. She tells him Tucker had glissade sold out from underneath him. Your father has lost everything, but you know, chest lave. It doesn't affect you, so who cares? She warns him to be careful about pushing family away. He's making a lot of causes for regret. With that, she leaves. At Sharon's place, Faith is having a hard time comparing what she and her dad had to what happened with Phyllis. Sharon tells her to stop comparing it. It's just different, that's all. She admits her mind wanders back to that time, but she doesn't spend too much time there. It's too painful. Faith asks, because of Cassie? Sharon says it's the worst thing a parent can go through. She doesn't blame Nick for spinning out. Cassie will always be in her heart, and they still bring her flowers every year on her birthday. They'll never forget the day they lost her. She and Nick celebrated her like they have every day since it happened. They embrace the future to honor her. Faith wishes she'd known her. Sharon cries, I do too. You would have had the best big sister. They embrace and express their love. At society, Daniel tells Heather and Lucy that Lily felt the same way as him. She was going to give him the game back. Heather gulps, and you let them have it. Daniel says it felt good to get rid of all this. Heather bets she was thrilled. Daniel didn't give Princess Louisa away for nothing. Heather asks what she's giving him. Daniel says Princess Louisa will be made part of the classic games library, so there will be no spin-offs. Heather explains to Lucy that it means her father's work will always have his name on it. They need to celebrate. Daniel says there's more. In exchange for letting them keep the game, Lily is making a sizable donation to her college fund. Lucy gushes about how cool Lily is, and Heather tells Daniel she's proud of him. At Chancellor Winters, Nate asks Devin if he knew about Tucker's loss. Devin says Victor mentioned something, but he wasn't specific. Nate wonders how Mamie knew. Devin says she must be paying more attention to Tucker's business than he has been. He wanted to have the meeting without her disrupting it. Billy is glad they remember why they're there. He says it's past time to admit they won't find common ground. They can't continue the way they are right now. He takes responsibility for his part in it. Devin says that's big of him. Billy continues on to say that the merger feels like a failed vision, and Lily agrees with him. Devin asks, do you really? Lily didn't want to face it for a long time, but she thinks it's time to split the companies. They can run Winters and she and Billy will run Chancellor. Devin muses, that's it. That's, wow. He says he's having a difficult time believing this. You just want to walk away from Winters. At Sharon's place, she urges Faith to go see her friends. Faith thanks her for making home a place she always wants to come back to. She'll check in later. In Crimson Lights, Nick asks Phyllis what Billy's been feeding her. Phyllis says nothing, but he's the only one interested in growing the company. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to see the chip on Devin's shoulder. Nick's fed up with her defending Billy, who has always been trouble and always will be. If she's reading this right, she's expecting Billy to end up on top and then have a place for her at Chancellor. Is that the angle? At Chancellor Winters, Devin tells Lily she's throwing away Neil's company and the legacy he left them. Lily thinks that's a misrepresentation of what's going on. She's doing this to help both companies grow. Devin asks, and you think you can achieve that by teaming up with this guy here? Lily reminds him Jill put her in as CEO of Chancellor. Devin asks about Jill. Billy says he brought this up with Lily, not Jill. He thinks it's pretty clear that this is the solution to the problem. Once he stops being so pissed off and territorial, he'll see that. Devin asks why Billy doesn't just take Chancellor and run it himself. What do you need her for? Lily wonders if Devin doesn't think she's an asset. Devin worries Billy would be using her. Billy's not surprised he'd go there. Devin thinks Billy just convinced her they're a great team because he needed her influence over him and mate to make this whole thing happen.